Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. I wanted to end the year with a top list to encompass what I think is worth buying this year. There were seriously so many good games in 2023, and to be honest, I didn't get a chance to play every single one of them. I'm going to be going over what I've played so far, my top 10, in order, up until what I think is the game of the year. If you're new here, don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Any interaction with the video helps the channel grow. I'm thankful for any and all the support that we've had throughout the year. Let's start off with game number 10. So I've honestly got zero footage of this game because I played almost all of it on the Steam Deck. The game is so freaking simple, but it can have so much depth at the same time. I got this one on a whim, saw it on sale, saw it was a top game. I don't regret this one at all. I've got about 50 hours exploring the ocean and making a sushi restaurant into just this well-oiled machine. You play as a diver named Dave, who dives during the day, gets fish, and runs a sushi restaurant at night. You hire, train staff, and customize your restaurant. The diving is fun, gets a little repetitive, but you're unlocking all this stuff about a story relating to mer people, and the game just keeps things fresh for you. I think it was only $15, but it's definitely worth it. Really good game and well polished. Definitely check it out if you have a portable device like a Steam Deck or ROG Ally. For game number 9, I'm going to go with Remnant 2. I feel like an asshole giving Remnant 2 a 9, but there was just so many good games that came out this year, and the only reason it's this low is because, I put in a lot of hours, I beat the game, I played a little bit more, but I never just came back to it. It might have just been the year, to be honest. Procedural generation keeps the game fresh, and it's seriously something that's just itching for me to come back. I just really think that the game is even better if you've got a friend or two playing with you, and I played this one solo. Actually, I'm not sure if you can play more than co-op. But yeah, a friend would always make it better. There's a ton of secrets, bosses, and gear that you're unlocking. So much of this can be missed. I missed a lot of stuff. I've seen some crazy things online, but that's really the beauty of the game. You just hop back in, you re-roll the adventure mode, and you try to get a different encounter. The game is pretty difficult, so if you're not a Souls person, this one might not be it for you, but I really think that the unique level design and the whole replayability aspect makes this probably one of the best games of the year. For number 8, I'm going to go with Diablo 4. And seriously, I've got a love-hate relationship with the game. I really, really, really didn't want to put this one on my top 10 because it left a bad taste in my mouth. But I spent maybe even 100 hours in this game. I can't just not put this on my top 10. Diablo 4 does almost everything right except have a good end game. I like the classes. I think the world is fun. It's really fun to explore. There's good dungeons. Feels great at first, and I just had so much fun with the story with my friends, and we power leveled up to level 75, all before the grind just finally really got to me. If the end game or the new seasons were just a little more fun, I'd really be playing it today. But for $70, you get a great campaign, at least 50 hours of gameplay till you get burned out. I leveled 2 characters, and then from there I finally called it quits. But I can't say that journey up until then wasn't fun, or I'd just be lying to myself. For number 7, Jedi Survivor. This game got crapped on at first for being a bad PC, and rightfully so. We're really tired of bad PC ports. But overall, it's an outstanding Star Wars game. We've continuing the story of Cal Kestis, and seriously, it's just never been a better time to hold a lightsaber. Jedi Survivor's worlds, platforming, combat, and story is really fun. Even if the combat gets a little difficult, because it is also, again, a Souls-like. The villains might be a little bad. Story might be predictable, but the game does everything I think the first one did, but better. Definitely one to check out if you're a Star Wars fan, or if you played the first game. I can't wait for what they're going to do with a third. Number 6, Resident Evil 4 Remake, is really the best remake that I think I've ever played. I actually worked my way back from 4, played the entire series as a kid, and I think even though 4 is a departure from that whole style of the original game, I think its focus on action, focus on horror, and the environment is just unmatched. It's hard to really appreciate how good the remake is without playing that original game, but I just can't recommend the original game anymore, honestly. 4 Remake is the definitive version of the game that's a childhood favorite of mine. Don't even bother with the first one. It's honestly just way too old to even enjoy. Go out and buy number 4 Remake. It's the best way to experience the game. For number 5, Hogwarts Legacy, controversial title. I think its biggest flaw is the relentless killing of the wizards that you're doing as a student. Once you get past that and the lack of a little bit of choice and consequence, you've got an amazing game. It's a full-fledged Harry Potter RPG. If you're a Potter fan, this is literally your dream game. The team behind the game did such a great job transporting you to Hogwarts, having you take classes, and just making the whole thing just not boring at all. When you're not being a student, you're unraveling a mystery that has to do with a goblin-human war. You're learning and casting spells. It all feels great, especially combat with a wand, which admittedly, I was a little worried about, but it was fun. Felt really great. The map is also enormous. There's so much to do, so many collectibles, spells to unlock, and this Pokemon Chow Garden Fantastic Beasts side activity, awesome. Well worth the $70 and really should be on everyone's list to play. For number 4, I just finished this game, but Spider-Man 2 is just a crazy way for this year to end. The action sequences are bigger, the story has more stakes, New York is bigger, and you're playing as 2 Spider-Men. Insomniac has basically mastered the Spider-Man character, giving really good superhero games like Arkham City a run for its money. It's only on PS5, unfortunately, but if you have one and you haven't played this, do yourself a favor, buy it now. It's everything the other 2 games are, but times 10. I did have a little bit of issues with the MJ sequences, but really not that big of a deal. Black Suit Peter Parker kicks ass. It's a blast, and despite how short the game is, definitely a game worth buying. For number 3, it's another game that I just didn't have time to review. Yes, I'm going to rank this one higher than Spider-Man. Call me crazy. Alan Wake 2 is a unique twist on the horror genre with a crazy, trippy style of story. The environment and the level is just all designed so well. The music adds so much tension. All of the acting in the game is just nailed, and the game is really almost like no other. I haven't played the first game, but after Alan Wake 2, I really want to go ahead and try number 1. It's not an action horror game at all, so don't think this is kind of like Resident Evil 4. There is a little bit of action. You are going to get a gun, and it's there, but this is a lot more of just a psychological thriller experience that you've got this story, this mystery that you have to unravel. Again, like I said earlier, it's so unique in my opinion. I don't think anywhere near enough buzz was given to this game just because it came out at the end of the year. And it's just really, really freaking good. It's one I definitely recommend people play through. For number 2, I'm a fucking Zelda nerd. Seriously, I'm Zelda obsessed. I have so much Zelda stuff. I've played every Zelda game, and it just kills me inside that this is not my game of the year. Tears of the Kingdom to me is almost a perfect game. It's Breath of the Wild, which is a huge, amazing styled Zelda game with even more Hyrule. Hyrule now has 3 layers. You've got the sky, the depths, the actual land. It's all been transformed thanks to our favorite villain who's back, Ganondorf. What really steals the show for me, though, is Ultra Hand and all the new abilities. Being able to fuse your items, craft flying vehicles, and solve puzzles with the whole new Ultra Hand is just so clever, and it's such a crazy twist on that typical Zelda experience. I can't even imagine going into other games without it now, and I know they're going to be trying something new for another Zelda. I really wasn't sure Nintendo could top Breath of the Wild, but they nailed it with this game, and seriously guys, it really had Game of the Year sealed for me. I love this game so much, up until this next one that I'm going to talk about. If you haven't played Breath of the Wild 1, please go out and play that game, and then you just have to play Breath of the Wild 2 just to see what they did here. It's an amazing game. I think whether or not you're a Zelda fan, it's something you'll enjoy. There's just so much to do in the world, so much creativity. Puzzles are great, a lot of exploration. Easy 80 plus hours for $60. What are you waiting for? Go out and get the Zelda game, please. For number 1, I had to, guys. I really had to. Baldur's Gate 3. It's probably one of the most fun I've had in a video game in just so long. I'm not a Dungeons and Dragons guy. I've never played. I'm not a, turn-based combat person. It's really not my style. But once I got this game, made my first character, I really knew I was in for something special just because of how deep it was already. Not only is the game huge, but every decision that you make matters, and it really just all affects the story down the line. And realistically, the game is just nothing but decisions. It's truly the definitive RPG experience. This shits on every other RPG that I've ever played personally. And there's so much that I missed in that first playthrough. You've got maybe 15 or so classes to choose from in the beginning. You can multi-class. There's even like a Dark Urge storyline that has this voice telling you to kill everything. Still haven't played that, but I really want to. I mean, I did one playthrough so far. So far, I've got over 100 hours. Got another playthrough that I just started. And I'm sure, I'm missing at least 200 hours in this game for me to experience. This game deserves Game of the Year because it's such a radical shift from other games. They take a huge risk with the focus on story, dialogue, and decisions, but it nails it. I mean, just Dungeons and Dragons alone, I don't think it's that popular of like a genre or thing that people do. I don't know a lot of people that played it, but seriously, this made me want to try. Every side mission, every main mission, even just interacting with my team at camp felt like it mattered. Voice acting is great. The music is really memorable. This is probably one of the best games I've ever played in my life. I would say it's up there as the top. And I just can't give the developers, Larian, any more props for that support that they've been giving, updates, and just the overall love and care they've shown to the game. The worst part, seriously, just the worst part about this game is that it released during 2023, which was just packed with maybe one or two games every month. I wish this came out during like a dead year. I mean, 2022 was shit. Would have been nice, and I could have probably played it a lot more before having to move on to some other games to play. As a bonus, after the whole Game of the Year thing, I really want to talk about other games that I got to play and recommend that some of them are games, some of them are not. First one's Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty. Outstanding. It's the way to play a game that had a lot of potential. If you haven't played it right now, $30, give it a shot. It does everything right. It's such an apology for this disaster with Cyberpunk. God of War Valhalla, fucking free, just came out of nowhere. It's a surprise treat. It's not just like a roguelike where you're just doing, mission after mission, just dying and coming back, dying and coming back. You've got a really cool expansion on Kratos, his story after Ragnarok. Go ahead, download that now. Please play it. If you've got a Switch, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, another banger from Nintendo, something I had a lot of fun with on the plane, especially if you're a Mario fan. Lastly, this one was a shock. I wanted to put this on my top 10, but just couldn't make it. Lies of P. If you like Souls games or Elden Ring, definitely worth playing. I still haven't beat it, kind of got stuck, but I'll eventually get through it. This is really the closest thing that we've got to a Bloodborne sequel, and it's honestly a lot of fun. So that wraps up my top 10 games of the year, plus the bonus. I mean, if you made it this far, I appreciate all of you. I'm thankful for all the support we've gotten. I can't wait to create and play even more games in 2024. There's a Steam sale, a PlayStation sale, and an Xbox sale. Add some of the games on this list to your backlog and eventually get through them. You're really not going to regret it. Also, again, drop your top 5, drop top 10 in the comments. I didn't get a chance to play everything. I really want to know what you guys liked and what I should be adding to my list. I'll see you all next year. Have a Merry Christmas and have a great New Year. Thanks.